You're listening to Six Music. This is Russell Brown. That was Black Grape. Kelly's Heroes. Before that, you had the Pogues. Before that, there was British Sea Power. And sort of in the middle of that, there was a little bit of the Zootons. Like, what we were trying to do is just tease the idea of the Zootons, give you a little bit of Zootons before curtailing them by bringing the Pogues in. There was a balls up, is quite frankly what happened. And on Easter, the day when Jesus returned to us, what a way to start a radio show, I don't know. I'm here with, like, Karl Pilkington's here, Trevor Locke's here, Matt Morgan's here. We're going to do Sunday school, right, where we're going to talk about stuff, learn a few things. And what else are we going to do? Oh, we've got some contests, we're going to have phone calls, and we've got some fantastic music. In the next hour, we've got Small Faces, they're on here, Pearl Jam, the Rosillos are going to be on. But, like, wow, yesterday I had a bit of a laugh. I went on Tim Westwood's radio show. It's interesting to go on Tim Westwood's radio show. I shall tell you for why. Because he's like a mad carnival of hip-hop insanity. Have you ever listened to it, Trevor or Matt?
I've accidentally listened to it, yeah.
Inadvertently, you heard it?
Absolutely, yeah. It wasn't a choice, no, it was a frightening experience.
Yeah, well, you should try being in there. It's brilliant. I will say this, I love Tim Westwood, he's magnificent. He's a magnificent
He's a friendly fella in real life, isn't he? Yeah.
He's lovely. Okay, but it's when, like, somebody calls me dog, it puts me under certain obligations and pressures, I think. You know, but I really liked him. You liked him and all, Matt, you were there with me.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. And also, I'd not heard the show until I was in the show.
Yeah, it's amazing because there's guns going off and explosions.
He presses a button and it goes when it's a bomb, and then it goes when it's guns noises. And
why would he do that though? I mean, what does that?
Builds atmosphere, doesn't it?
He gets all enthusiastic and then he sort of just taps this screen. He fires off samples.
Yeah, of guns going off. It's amazing stuff from Tim Westwood. I really like him. Perhaps
he has it up really loud in there. It's like you're in a club.
Yeah.
Or a war.
And he's or a war.
A sort of a war in a club. It's like a club war. You're under a lot of pressure while in that show. Yeah. I think, do you know what? I think we should try and talk to Tim Westwood later on this show. But also, like, if you've learned anything over the week, particularly anything that's pertinent or relevant to Easter, give us a call or send us a text or email. I'll give you the information when I've got it in front of my eyes. Until then, it'll be Six Music, bbc.co.uk. Russell, that's my name. That's how you can contact me. But, why don't we listen to Mew now with the Zookeeper's Boy? Let's have a listen to that, shall we, Trev?
I think it'll be better if we listen to the Zootons.
Do you think? Oh, well, because we listened to a little bit of Zootons earlier.
Yeah, it would be silly not to do it.
We had that, yeah. Do you know what? I'm right in the mood for it. Having heard that little bit of Zootons, yeah. Let's listen to the rest of it.
Let's go for it, yeah.
Listen to Russell Brand on Six Music, that was the Zookeeper's Voice. Before that, we had the Zootons, who earlier in our show we curtailed quite coldly and cruelly. This is the Sunday school section of our show where we want to learn stuff. We was talking before about going on Tim Westwood. We didn't bring Trev. Me and Matt went into Tim Westwood. How do you reckon you'd have coped in a Tim Westwood environment, Trev?
I think I would have just backed into an English corner, I think.
Yeah, because you're a very English person, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it just made me go even more English.
Trev's a bit like, if you could imagine Alan Bennett, if there was a boy band called the Alan Bennetts, Trevor Locke would be the lead singer of them. How do you think Trev would have fared in the Westwood environment, Matt?
I think he would have. Well, you sort of coped with it by going into campness.
I went quite camp, yeah, because obviously I'm not going to feel comfortable going, that's a big look up there, bow, bow, and all those gunshots going off all the time in the studio. Yeah. It's difficult to relax.
It's just, so enthusiastic that
he is.
You get infected by it. I think Trevor would have fared okay, but I don't think.
I think so, because Trevor's got quite a strong identity as an Englishman. I think he would have been okay. What I feel like it's lovely because we bumped into Tim Westwood as well, like just in the street. Me, Matt, and Trevor, just in the street. That's where you're going to bump into Tim Westwood. He's on the street.
Sounds like a lie, but
it was in the hood. We bumped into him in Carnaby Street, was the street in London, and like we was outside having some breakfast. And it's weird when he says something normal, and because he said, "Oh, I see you having your breakfast here. I come and have my breakfast here. They do porridge." And it seems strange to hear him talk about things like porridge. It seems odd and non sequitur when he does stuff like that. But like this language that Tim uses, and like that everyone that came on his show, like, you know, sort of there was LOC, they were sort of like a reggae group, and there was Nicky and Nike, they were like a pair of rappers. They all talk in the same way, big up this and that and the other. Like, do you think that this is the inevitable evolution of language, and that we'll all talk like that?
I don't think so.
I can't imagine you, because you just sound like a Burlington Bertie just then in response to that
I
question.
really don't think that dog will become a normal word for
I like
friend.
that. I think I'm going to use dog. I think that's really nice to call somebody a dog
Well, it
in
means
a new way.
Absolutely.
Trevor, you will not use that word.
I'm going to call myself a dog and other male friends.
You will not be
Big, they say
accepted.
big. Oh, that he was saying big. Of all the words you could use to mean really good,
Big's
they say,
all right one.
that's big, that is big, it's
Yeah.
really big.
What
Okay.
happens if something is big?
God knows.
That could be confusing if something is just a large object. Right, if you want to join this debate on semantics that we're having on Easter Sunday, you can contact us by text us on 640446 or email the show via russell.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk. Should we have a bit of music?
Oh, let's do that.
Please.
A little bit of the Small Faces.
Why not? You're listening to Six Music, this is Russell Brand. It's Easter Day, and you should know that yourselves, unless, of course, like, Christianity might be irrelevant to you. And in which case, you don't mind, although you will, I don't know, you can still have eggs, you can still
You
celebrate
still
it.
know it's Easter, surely.
I suppose so.
It's a festival of spring, of rebirth, just as much as it is about Jesus.
Oh, all right, let's go on about all the eggs, the fertility, the bunnies and stuff like that.
Let's do that.
But, like, really, it's not. It's about the resurrection
It's
of
not-
Jesus.
Well, Jesus is about new life, isn't it? He had another crack at the life thing, didn't he?
So
After
you think, all right, there's a direct corollary between, like, you think that Christianity and Christian theology try to nick pagan ideology to recruit people.
I don't think it's a coincidence, Russell.
I think it's a bit of an attack. If you send us a text on 64046, or you can email us at russell.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk. Listen to Russell Brand on Six Music. That was Elbow, Fallen Angel. We've got, over the next hour, right, we've got some good things coming up. We've got Oasis, Pearl Jam, and we've got the Beatles, that Skipple band, blimey. I think it's the devil's music. Also, I should mention that we've had this this email. It says, say hi to Paul in Boston. This is, he was listening to British Sea Power earlier, and eating toast. That's from his wife, Becky. I think Becky using us as a tool to hold together a failing marriage is quite frankly callous. Shall we have a listen to some things that have happened recently in a little show I like to call The News?
Digital radio.
Digital TV.
Well, listening to Six Music, this is Russell Brand, Happy Easter. That was Wonderwall. It's sort of become a bit of a national anthem unofficially, like the end of a boozy party. If there is a guitar or a piano, that's the thing that most people will join in at. That.
Yeah.
People like that, don't they? We're talking about sort of, we're talking about language a little bit on the show today, right? Because me and Matt went on Tim Westwood's show yesterday. Brilliant, Tim Westwood's great and everything, but it's like you sort of think, wow, it's a whole different code, a whole different system of signs and language there. It's difficult to understand
And
it,
the
right?
handshakes as well. I was
Oh, the handshakes is
shook
difficult.
too many hands and I didn't know there was a chest bump thing.
The
I
chest
didn't-
bump, now, my mate G does the chest bump, so I've already learned that. I'm quite confident. But sometimes, you know, you do the cuddle around. The first time Tim Westwood did that chest bump to me, right, I sort of, like, hey, all right, dog, and sort of like that. And I ended up cuddling his arm,
Yeah.
a bit, and I was literally like a dog, umping away at his little arm. It was a little bit humiliating for me. So, and also, like, the Arctic Monkeys, right, this is not tenuous, right? The Arctic Monkeys, they can't be understood in America saying things like Mardy Bum, Frank Spencer, Romeo and Juliet. The Americans are quite literally baffled by that. Oh, they don't understand the English language. So we want to talk about misunderstandings and miscommunications, right? If you've got any stories about misunderstandings, miscommunications, then send them to me. You can text it to 64046, or you can email the show at russell.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk. But while we're on the subject of misunderstandings, listen to this little misunderstanding that Matt had. What happened? This is to do with womanising and you having a bit of how's your father with a Latvian, wasn't it?
Yes, I was with a Latvian lady.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, after the night,
Yeah.
I was really needed to get away, and it wasn't a lie, but I said I had to go and sign a new contract for at the estate agents.
Why? 'Cause why did you need to sign a new contract with an estate agent?
It's just the
What
way-
are you, an assassin?
That's how I roll. No, that's what you have to do when
What,
you're an
to-
adult.
To continue living in your house?
Yeah, I just had to go, and it was a formality, but I had to be there at the same time as my two other flatmates. We had to do it in unison.
Right.
And I said to her, I've got to. She was scary, actually.
What's this woman? Were you scared
Forceful
of
and
her?
scary. A big sort of Latvian woman, a bit, you know.
Did you like that about her, Matt, or was it intimidating?
I liked it in retrospect, but when I was actually
at the
there,
time.
I just wanted to
Smile
be
about
gone.
it now, but at the
Yeah.
time it was terrible, in the words of Morrissey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, so I said to her, "Oh, I've got to go because I've got to sign a contract," and I was trying, you know, it sounded like a lie.
She thought you were just
She
trying to
thought I was
escape her
lying.
clutches.
But it came to a head when I said, "I've got, you know, I have to go at this." She goes, "Where do you have to go at that time?" She had that voice.
Right, that's how she spoke, a bit
Yes.
like Borat.
"Where
the
do you
Adam
go
Jimmy
now?"
character.
Yeah, very much like that. And I said, "Oh, because my flatmates are going, and it's a certain time, and I'm meeting them there."
Right.
And she went mental and said, "You're meeting the mayor? Why are you meeting the mayor? You think I'm stupid? You think that there's so many people in London, you think they all have to meet the mayor to sign a contract? It would never happen." And I just lost her at that point.
Have you ever tried to rekindle that romance?
She does.
Well, that's interesting. I like the idea that in that moment she thought that you're going, no, I have to go and meet the mayor. Like, it's a big ceremony
She never.
to sign a
I said,
contract.
no, I said, "I'm meeting them there, my flatmates." "No, you didn't."
She never accepted
She
it.
thought I'd told a lie and then tried to get out of that lie by having a clever bit of wordplay.
Right, yeah, she
Actually, I
thought-
left that house with
You
her
were just
thinking,
punning your way out of it like
Yeah.
a Frank Muir or something. Okay, so yeah, any similar misunderstandings in your life, send them to russell.6music@bbc.co.uk, or you can text us at 64046. It's Russell Brand, listening to Six Music. That was the Rosillos. That was a session track recorded for John Peel in December 1977. We're talking about misunderstandings and confusion. It all emanated from me and Matt going on Tim Westwood's show yesterday. Tim Westwood's going to return that favour by coming on our show in a little bit. I hope he's not disappointed that there ain't all gunshots ringing out and people calling each other dog left, right. Perhaps when Tim comes on the phone, we'll call each other dog.
Yeah, I'm going to call him dog, yeah.
no, he might think we're...
Well, no, not in a
mocking him.
sarcastic
No,
way.
he's got a good sense of humour.
Also, he
has,
knows we
actually,
love him.
and he's so enthusiastic about everything.
Also, he's on my show One Leicester Square tonight on MTV at 8 o'clock. That's going to be fantastic. Tune in and watch that. Talking about misunderstandings, if you've got any, if you've had any embarrassing ordeals, you can text us 64046, or you can email me at russell.6music@bbc.co.uk. Matt, you've had another misunderstanding incident while dredging through your mind. What was that
Yes.
one?
My last girlfriend, who left me,
Of course she did.
she went to Paris. When I first met her, she's Icelandic, and she's really beautiful, wasn't she? You saw her once.
She was a pretty girl. Let's not harp on about that, Matt. This isn't
No,
like
it's
a
all right. It's still got issues
flagging
there.
up how pretty they... Let her go. She's left you.
I know.
She preferred to live all destitute in Paris. She said she was going to retrace the steps of George Orwell and live all destitute there rather than go out of you. But go on, what's this misunderstanding you
Well,
have?
when I first met her, and she said, and I was looking for that inn, you know, when you started talking to someone, my inn was rubbish, and I said, "Are you Swedish?"
Looking for an in, you're ruthless, you are, aren't you? It immediately starts. You're like a grifter. I'm ready. You treat people as well. I'm looking for me more. I think, how can I turn this mare over?
I was
She's
chewing
got
my
something I
toothpick,
want.
and I went over. No, and I said, because she was Icelandic, I said, "Oh, you're Icelandic. Do you like Sigur Rós? You know the band Sigur Rós?"
Sigur Rós,
Icelandic.
yeah.
And she said, "Yes, I do, but I like roll-ups." She'd obviously thought I said, "Do you like
Cigarettes.
cigarettes?" And she dealt with that well, actually, because imagine someone came up to you and their chat-up line was, "Oh, hello, you're Icelandic. Do you like cigarettes?"
Like as if, like, you thought that there's a paucity of cigarettes in Iceland. I'll give you a pack of Rothmans. Other cigarettes are available if you'll spend a little bit of time with me. Yeah, that would have been
it was a
an
bit
awful
like that.
chat line.
And she said, "No, yes, I like roll-ups." And I was still on the band thing, and I
You thought
thought
roll-ups
roll-ups
was a band.
I said, "Oh, roll I've never heard of them. Are they like Sigur Rós?" So she thought I said, "I've never heard of roll-ups. Are they like cigarettes?" She goes, "Yes, they are cigarettes."
for this hilarious
It went on
misunderstanding.
and on, and then we had a relationship, and then she left me.
Of course you did. I'm glad. I'm thinking it's a blessing that you didn't go, "Oh, roll-up," because what I'd have done is I'd have gone, "Roll-ups, I'm banging to the roll-ups, oh yeah, well, I've got all their music."
I imagine I'd lied
And said that you
yeah,
knew
I've
who the
got all
roll-ups
the
were.
roll-ups albums.
Got all the roll-ups albums, you'd have
That
looked
would have been
ridiculous.
worse, wouldn't it?
Tim Westwood's going to be on the show a little bit later. When I texted him to ask him, "Oh, will you come on the show, Tim Westwood?" Right, I didn't know whether or not to put
Did
a
you say
kiss.
Tim Westwood
Tim Westwood, yeah.
on the text?
I didn't go, "Dear Tim Westwood,
Oh,
will you
right,
come on the
no,
radio
it's a
show?" I
bit-
just
bit
said, "Dear
formal.
Tim." It's too much. "Dear Tim Westwood, I'd like to cordially invite you to participate in a radio programme on the BBC, if you don't mind." No, but I didn't know whether to put a kiss at the end of it.
No, you should never put a kiss to Tim Westwood. He's not going to deal with that well. I mean, wouldn't, you know,
He wouldn't.
spurn you for it, but...
Did you put LOL instead?
I put like a little winking, happy face, and a picture of my own bottom. I thought that might be nice.
If you did put a kiss, he might think that it was just your sign off. People call you X.
I'm X, bit like Exhibit.
Yeah.
Yeah, something
He might
like
think
that.
that's... Yeah.
Okay, so send us your confusion, and we'll be talking to Tim Westwood a little bit later.
It was 100 degrees as we sat.
Steady as she goes, the raconteurs. You listen to Six Music. I'm Russell Brand. Before that, we had the Dandies with Smoke It. Before that, we had the Beatles. I Feel Fine. Before that, Death Cab for Cutie, Crooked Teeth. Yeah, we've been talking about misunderstandings and misheard things. We've got like what have we got here? Oh yeah, this is like an embarrassing incident, right? It goes this fella. He reckons he's called Richie from Hull. He says there's nothing worse than going to kiss a girl on both cheeks, but on the second kiss she looks away, looking for her mates or something. Oh, Richie, that is awful. But he also says play raconteurs. We have just done that. So his life may be strewn with faux pas.
What's his problem? He goes to kiss
He
them.
goes to kiss a girl on both cheeks. This is Richie's problem.
And when he's doing the second kiss,
He's
she's
doing the
already
second one.
looking at her
She's
friends.
already looking at her mates, possibly saying, this Richie fella's setting about me with an unwelcome vigour. This is unwelcome contact. This will go through the courts.
It's tricky though, that, isn't it? I've kissed a girl in the eye in that situation.
You've kissed a girl in the eye.
And then we both had to ignore the fact that I just kissed her
We
wet
should have
eye.
addressed that.
I reckon you
Well, how wet
eroticised
eye?
it.
Oh, it's
Trevor's eroticised it already. I reckon he enjoys kissing wet
get me
eyes.
eye.
Now I do. It's a Pavlovian thing for me now.
Now that's become for you, your sexuality's been built around wet eyes. Well, it could be worse. Matthew, what about you did some embarrassing thing with a nan, didn't you?
Yeah, it was at a wedding, and
Not between you and the nan.
no, but yeah, I headbutted my girlfriend's nan really hard on her cheekbone. She was very old, and she came up, and she was sort of. They were one of those families that were kissy and cuddly.
Yeah.
And I'm not like that. So, and you know, when you think, oh God, here's the bit where I have to kiss
This is
her.
the kiss moment.
Here we go. So it was a big build-up, and then
You
she went
lunged.
yeah, so I went, like, yeah, headbutted her, and I could, like, her cheekbone hit my forehead, and I could really,
All soft and puffy, wasn't it?
yeah.
She's quite a tall nan.
It was.
No,
How
I-
did your forehead get into her cheek? Were you on
She
your
was
knees?
little, and I bent down.
Well, you sort of launched at her.
Yeah, it must have looked
A
like I
downward
just
plunder.
attacked her.
You should be kept away from people's nans. There's
know.
websites about people like you. What does LOL stand for anyway? That's from Kate from
This
East
is tricky.
London.
This is
right,
very
what does
tricky.
it like?
It's
at the
always
end of-
mean laugh out loud.
It hasn't. For me, it always meant that. And I received some flirtatious
Laugh out loud.
texts and emails with LOL. It turns out it can also mean lots of love.
Right.
So did you think that they'd say something nice and then laugh at you?
Yeah, I thought that was the joke. That, you know, they found me nice.
Trevor, it's been really nice meeting you. What wonderful eyes you have. Laugh out loud. But they might have
Yeah.
meant lots of love.
Yes.
That's
Well,
nice.
they could have done it. I think they did, surely.
Surely,
No one
if
could be that
in
cruel.
that situation, yeah.
But no, yeah, anyone that's laughing at your little squinting eyes, Trevor, like, that's cruel, that kind of mockery. We've got Tim Westwood on the show a bit later. We're going to be talking about songs in stories. Last week we talked about the Killing of Georgie, the Rod Stewart song. That's got a nice story behind it. Not nice for Georgie, and it's terrible, of course, but I mean the story. We're going to be talking about songs that have got stories behind them. Send in any songs that have got stories behind them, and we'll play one, and we'll discuss that story. It'll be exciting. But for now, should we lose ourselves in music a little bit,
Let's
chaps?
go for it.
Come on. Russell Brand, you're listening. This is Russell Brand. You're listening to Six Music. That was the Lightning Seeds. Before that, we had Selector on my radio. If you want to get in touch with us, talk about any embarrassment, any mishaps that have occurred in your life, you can text us on 64046. Or you can email me, russell.sixmusic@bbc.co.uk. It is an honour to welcome to our show Tim Westwood. Are you there, Tim?
Yo, what's up, man? How you, bro?
I'm really well. It's lovely to hear you again, mate. I've missed you a bit since yesterday.
Yeah. Yo, this is a real Russell Brand Westwood weekend, brother.
Oh, no, but there's a lot of it. And then you're coming on One Leicester Square a little bit later
Yo, that's going to be
today.
a big look for me tonight, man. I'm really looking forward to that, man. I mean, that's a hot show, brother. People are really talking about
Thank
that.
you. Oh, Tim, I
I'm
thought
looking forward
you-
to come on there as long as you're not disrespectful.
I will not
towards
be
my gangster limp.
Your gangster limp will be treated with nothing but respect, Tim.
As long as there's no disrespect towards my gangster limp, it's a go tonight.
Excellent. I'm glad it's a go, Tim. We had a great time on your
Baby,
show.
Understand on Westwood, and when Westwood says it's a go, it's a go.
Oh, it's a go! Tim, I
Frank,
feel...
we take that to the bank.
We can take that to the bank, Frank. I'll tell you what, Tim, I feel like I'm letting you down because our radio show ain't got no gunshots or nothing in it.
No, I can live without the gunshots and I can live without the bombs because it's early in the morning.
It's early in the morning. But, hold
The
on.
bomb game is weak in the morning.
The bomb game is weak of a morning.
Exactly.
Perhaps
Come 9 o'clock, it's a go, baby.
Matt could do a sound effect of perhaps a bow and arrow being fired.
That
Nice.
guy's definitely got that William Tell haircut right now.
He has. He's got his barnet. He looks awful today. I don't know what he can do with
Tim,
himself.
why do you keep going on about my haircut?
Because this is a real Russell Brandon Matt Westwood weekend, baby.
Hey Tim, we was talking about like embarrassing incidents and occurrences and stuff, right? Because there could well have been one yesterday on the show. You know, when you asked me, "Oh, Russell, who's your favourite hip hop artist?" I said Tupac, mispronounced it
but
'cause it's meant to be Tupac.
I mean, everyone in the UK says Tupac. The correct pronunciation is Tupac. But at the end of the day, if you love the artist, that's all that matters. And I believe Tupac is the greatest that ever did it, man.
Really? You think he's the
lived.
greatest ever?
The way you said that, it really rung off. And then towards the end of the show, when I hadn't played any Tupac, you reminded me to get Hail Mary on for Christmas.
I'm glad you pronounced that. I'm glad you pronounced that
confused right
correctly,
now.
Tim, because like you just nearly mispronounced Al Mary. You know, that had been a difficult situation. Had you asked Matt who his favourite hip hop artist was, what would you have had to have said, Matt?
I was terrified that you'd asked me, but I couldn't think of anyone apart from the stutter rap. Do you remember that?
All he knows is the Stutter Rap by Mervyn Stutter. That's the only bit of hip hop Matt knows.
I don't actually know that one myself.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. It was a novelty record, Tim, and it's an insult to the music genre that you love.
I'm a rocker.
I mean, talk about embarrassing moments. I thought it was very powerful last night. Your dancing.
Oh,
I mean,
that dancing.
Listening to you dance on the radio was definitely one of the highlights of my career.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah, I had to do the Crazy Frog dance with LOC. They're sort of like a reggae duo, eh?
Yeah, exactly, man. They've got a real hot record out there, LOC, Crazy Frog, really mashing up the dances, man. And like, yeah, in reggae, there's dances which go with all the records. There's so many different dances, like, you were doing the Willy Bounce last night.
I did
which
do
was
the
very
Willy
powerful.
Bounce. I'll tell you what, I did so much Willy Bouncing on your show that I couldn't Willy Bounce later on in the evening. It was very embarrassing. I did myself a mischief, Tim.
I'm sorry. All right. Well, next time we'll take it slower. But like, yo, man, it was definitely. It was great to have you in last night. And
Oh,
if you want to
thank you.
hear it again, you can go to www.bbc.co.uk.
Oh, Tim,
/Radio1
concentrate.
and go to listen again.
We look to you, Tim. You're an idol. You're a radio icon. Me, Matt and Trev. Oh, Trev's here as well. Remember Trevor you met in the street the other day?
Yo, is that your producer?
Good morning to you, Tim.
How
Happy
you
Easter.
doing,
I'm
man?
doing very well, yes.
I remember we had a discussion about what were we talking about?
I think it was a little bit too rude to talk about on Easter
Okay,
Sunday.
it's when you get a little known, you can relax on certain things.
Yeah, exactly, that's what we were talking about, yes.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's lovely to think of you and you two having a conversation because Trevor is the most English man in the country. He's a ridiculous little character. It's a miracle that he copes. Tim, have you got any
Probably the last one left.
Yeah, he is. I think he is. We should cherish him. Tim, have you got any requests that we could play on the show? We thought it would be interesting if you requested something that weren't a hip-hop track.
Ooh.
Is there anything at all?
I don't really know much outside hip-hop and, some R&B and reggae.
All right, well then think of something that we might have here and we'll play it for you a little bit later in the show, Tim.
Ooh.
You
Have you
can-
any Jimi Hendrix?
We'll have Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
It's a good choice,
I
Tim.
like
That's a big
Crosstown
look.
Traffic,
Crosstown Traffic, great
Electric Glide in Blue.
Right, we're going to do Crosstown Traffic for you.
Voodoo Child would really ring off at this time in the morning.
Tim, we're doing Crosstown Traffic for you, or Voodoo Child. We'll have a little rummage through the archive. Tim Westwood, thank you very much for coming on our show. It's been lovely
Hey,
talking
Ross,
to
I
you.
look forward to seeing you tonight on MTV at 8 o'clock for One Leicester Square, which is 1 week before Westwood blasts off with Pimp My Ride UK, the second season.
It's going to blow up in your face, dog. Thanks, Tim.
I never understood before.
This is Russell Brand on Six Music. That was Polytechnic. Won't you come around? Before that, we had Aqualung with Brighter Than Sunshine. Before that, we had a chat with Tim Westwood. That was fantastic stuff for all of us, wasn't it? I think we've all been having a right laugh. But should we find out? Matt, would you like to know what's going on in the world?
I'd love to know.
That's why we're
Worried.
I know. Well, don't worry because it's Easter, and here is the news.
Digital Radio.
Listen to Russell Brand on Six Music. That was the Charlatans, Black and Blue Eyes. Before that, we had Depeche Mode, Master and Servant. We've been talking about misunderstandings and confusion and that on there. I've got this text message. It's from Andy Rowland. He goes, Russell, I can't believe you're playing the Lightning Seeds, which we were ages ago, just before we had Tim Westwood on. Lightning seeds into Tim Westwood, that's got to be a first, hasn't it? Surely.
Definitely.
It's good that he didn't respond to it. Russell, I can't believe you're playing the Lightning seeds and asking about misunderstandings all at the same time. While at uni, says Andy, I worked on a motorway. I worked at a motorway services, and one day, during about the 12th hour of my shift, I served the lead singer, but in my sleep-deprived state, I asked him, "Aren't you the singer of the Lighthouse family?" That did not go down well. Also, it was late and it was in the garage. That must have been really hard for the singer of the Lightning Seeds, Ian Brody. Bit of upsetting.
See why I did that, though. In my head, they're sort of...
Right, because of the word light.
Really,
because of the word light.
Right, you've got a connection in your mind for those. Let's just say, I wanted to say hello to Karen, Paul Franklin's girlfriend. Hello, Karen, you're right, dear. And Trevor, you've got an email to read out for you.
Yes, this is an email.
Who's it from?
It's from Paul Swain, and this is what it says. It says, I was once outside one of the few enclosed cubicles in a unisex toilet in a French hospital.
Right, that's a weird start to an email already.
It's odd. I presume that he was in France. I don't think there are any French hospitals here.
I don't think there's any call for him.
So anyway, he was there. He was waiting for a disabled chap that he was helping when a group of bawdy nuns...
Bawdy nuns?
That's not a phrase you hear very often.
Never hear it outside of a brothel, where I wasn't. I was only there to research this story.
And they weren't even real nuns.
Of course they weren't.
This is a group of bawdy French nuns that had come into there for a fag break.
Baldy French nuns coming for a fag break? Are you making this up, Trevor? Is this
I'm not
lies?
making this up, no. So the baldy nuns, they're from France, they're in France.
Nuns don't have fag breaks. I mean, breaks from what they're nuns anyway.
Carry-on style.
Russell,
Yeah,
if they've got a fag break, why would they take it in a unisex toilet?
If you're a nun, you'd think, let's stay out of
baldy?
you. Well, I suppose they're coming in there going, "Oh, should we have a fag? Bonjour, all right, je m'appelle une nun." Okay, what happens? Let's
He
hear the
continues. They went in there for a fag break. They eyed me, hovering, whilst my ward grunted away. Remember, there's a disabled gentleman in the disabled toilets in the hospital.
And he's grunting away.
Apparently he's grunting. The bawdy nuns eye this gentleman, and then they leave. They return with several heavily armed French policemen who fire their language at him at a pace GCSE had ill-equipped him for.
There's very little punctuation in this.
I'm doing the best. I've changed the tense. When a handgun was pressed to his chest.
Why is he getting a gun pressed in his chest? This man, I'm confused.
Well, this is French policeman. This is the thing. I think there's going to be a twist.
He's in
at
a
the
toilet.
end.
There's bawdy nuns. He's obviously been labelled as some kind of...
Do you think this is true? What's this man's name?
This man is called Paul Swain.
Paul Swain.
I think that's an anagram for something.
So everything's an anagram for something. True.
Basically, the word pervert gets bandied around. That's what he.
Well, they're saying
realised.
pervert. He realised that they thought that he was there harassing that gentleman.
Nuns, yeah.
Exactly. And then so it was all.
And then to prove that he wasn't a pervert, he opened the door, revealing a grunting disabled man.
That's what I often do to prove I'm not a pervert. You think I'm sick now? Take a look at this. Right.
This is what I'm perving on.
This is Karl Pilkington on hearing the content of that story. Karl Pilkington's here helping us run this show. He said he goes, it would be nice if everyone had a backrest. Like, you know, in disabled toilets there's a backrest.
Yes.
He goes, we should all have that, shouldn't we? We should all have a backrest in able-bodied toilets. And I said, like, thinking that it's a luxury that. that
I don't think it is. I never lean back when I'm in that situation.
To sit up straight.
Right, if anything, I lean forward.
You could lean forward, Trevor.
It's very unusual to lean back in that situation.
Where would it end as well? Handrails, big taps.
Yeah, like a helmet, blow dry in your hair. What kind of conditions do people want in there? Dancing girls in a lavvy, French policemen bursting in, brandishing guns. I reckon we should make an effort to contact this Paul Swain because I'm very curious about all this business.
I am, yeah.
Hey, should we play out Jimi Hendrix Crosstown Traffic for the big dog himself, Tim Westwood?
Let's do it.
It's going out to our man Tim Westwood.
Drop the bomb.
Drop it. Right, well, quite clearly this is not crosstown traffic. I mean, I never met Jimi Hendrix, I never had that privilege, but these are not the opening chords of crosstown traffic, familiar to millions, are they?
Westwood is no longer your friend.
I think that's a friendship we work very hard for. There's an embarrassing incident right there. There's an embarrassing misunderstanding.
We've got it now. We've got Jimmy. So this is for you, Tim.
Right, we're gonna play this because that was Funky Kingston, was it? That we just.
It was Funky Kingston, and that sounds nothing like Jimi Hendrix.
I know, and that's not to their detriment, because I don't think that was their aim.
That's not what they're going for.
when they wrote that song. Let's do this as a pastiche of Crosstown Traffic. Right, so, finally, shall we have Crosstown Traffic for the big daddy dog himself, Tim Westwood?
early for dancing, but here comes the music.
That was Jack Johnson as a session track. That was Rodeo Clouds. That was recorded for Tom Robinson in October 2002. We just finished talking about embarrassing incidents and misunderstandings with an embarrassing incident and a misunderstanding when we tried to play Crosstown Traffic for Tim Westwood, and we did Toots and the Maytals, Funky Kingston.
Perfect
instead.
in a way, wasn't it?
What do you think that was a divine error?
I think so, yeah.
In some respects. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I just wanted to say later on Six Music, where is it? We've got that lovely fella, James Collins, isn't it? He'll be on later.
He's on in the afternoon, isn't he?
He's on in the afternoon. Andrew Collins. He's on with Richard Herring. He's talking. I can't remember who he's talking to. It's a baffling ordeal. But
Thank you for that information, Russell.
Come to me. Come to old Russ.
I think you should do the news as well, really.
Righto. There's been. What about that on the news that's saying like Murdoch out of the Gorillaz? Yeah, I'm furious. Murdoch from the Gorillaz is upset with Damon Albarn because like Damon Albarn said, oh, that'll be the last Gorillaz album.
Who's decided we all go on that journey with them? This ridiculous idea.
They're not real. They are just. I mean, I don't mind going. All right, let's all get into it. It's a cartoon band.
Not on the news.
Yeah, on the and when they start, because we're Six Music, we're supporting that idea now. That like that's a like that thing. Murdoch ain't got no feelings. It's just some drawings. We might as well say, oh, Donald and Daisy Duck have had their marriage annulled because Donald Duck's what's name? It's like a little nub. Daisy Duck, she's not going to put up with that.
It's like Rod Hull and Emu falling out publicly.
It's preposterous, isn't it? He's arguing with his own arm.
Yeah.
So, and that's made it onto the news.
I don't think it works anyway, because if Murdoch's that unhappy, and if he believes that he can make these sort of complaints, he can just write his own sort of material. Why doesn't he just...
Because he's a bit of paper.
But he's saying he's not a bit of paper now. He's saying that he has no...
He can't come alive. It's like Pinocchio. He's not ever going to become a real boy if he just complains or if he, you know, listens to the moral of the story.
Well, that is the logical impasse that he finds himself in.
That's right, and I'm just sorry that that's been supported by Six Music News. They've taken us to a logical impasse. It's meant to be a source of information, for heaven's sakes. Okay, should we just go... Oh, right, we're going to do a competition.
Yeah.
Right, you know, we did this competition last week. It was excellent, right? What it is we play some sound effects, and you have to guess what the track is. Let's have a little listen. Yeah. Oh, what can it be? Right, now that was last week's competition. Matt, Trev, would you have guessed what that was?
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely.
Go on then.
Monkey's
Guess what
gone to heaven.
Ooh, but the Pixies, well, you would have won a prize if it had been last week, if we could go back in time. Unfortunately, it's this week now, and here's this week's competition. Tim Westwood would like this. Right, so you've got to guess what is the title of that song from that information. Trev, Matt, have you got any ideas? What do you think it might be? Obviously, don't guess it right, because otherwise it ruin the whole competition. So I'm asking you, have a guess, but
I think it's
wrong.
Alan Titchmarsh stubbing his toe in a garden.
That is not a song, Trevor.
Not a song, Trevor.
That's
No,
not-
but it's a lyric
Raining
from
Men.
Raining Men. That's
Raining-
one of your favourites, isn't it, Matt?
Raining Gardening Man.
Oh, for heaven's sake, you silly boys. So,
In an English country garden.
listen, you can don't speak anymore, you silly sausages. You can if you want to win that competition. What are the prizes? Oh, look at this. There's DVDs. Embrace this New Day album. You can have that if you get this right. There's another dance compilation CD, dodgeball DVD. There's a lot of prizes, and also we're going to do. We'll give you a photograph of the back of some woman's legs, signed by the woman herself. So if you think you know the answer, text us on 64046 or email the show russell.6music, and if you win, you'll get all them lovely prizes.
Just don't let me down.
That's Kooks, Naive. Before that was R.E.M., The Sidewinder, Sleeps Tonight. Before that, we had Captain Broke. This is Russell Brand on Six Music. Right, you know we done that competition a moment ago. Right, well, we've had some suggestions from people. Daniel John reckons that it is, you know, well, let's play the sound effect again. What could that be? What track could that be? Well, Daniel John reckons it's Walking on Broken Glass by Annie Lennox. It's not that, but as you
That
can
doesn't
see...
address the rain.
Doesn't
Sound
address the
effect
rain.
of the thunder.
Well, then that's why Rachel from Lincoln, who also wishes Happy Easter to all of us, except
bless
Trevor. She doesn't. Apparently, Trevor, she hopes that something awful. No, she doesn't. It's just a general Happy Easter. It's to all of us. She reckons it's raining men by the weather girls. But
That's what I said. She should get her own ideas.
No, don't be so possessive over your ideas. You're helping other people. It's the wrong answer anyway. Doesn't matter. So if you think you know the answer to that, you can text us. I'll give you the number earlier. Trevor, can you see what the text number is? It's written up there on a bit of paper.
Yeah, the text number is 64046.
And what if they want to email us,
Well,
Trev?
if they wanted to send an email, they'd do it to russell.6music@bbc.co.uk.
Poker.co.uk. I don't know what you're trying to sell to people.
It's a Christmas theme thing.
I worry about you, fellow lad, I really do. Okay.
I think it's Easter, actually, Trevor.
Why is he even talking about Christmas? Bless him.
He's quite mad.
It was a Derbyshire thing from earlier.
All right, okay.
It's an unusual way to behave. Okay, so yeah, if you think you know the answer to that thing, you can send that in. I'm still a bit, to tell you the truth, I'm still a bit preoccupied about this business between Murdoch and Damon Albarn. Like, it is like Rod
You're
Oles.
accentuating it, though. You're making it worse.
Because we spoke to Jodie from Six Music News, and she said it was like an add-on. It was just like a final story. It's only meant to be a bit of a laugh.
Exactly.
Like, don't take it too seriously. But I'm just saying, like I don't, I think it's good to have a cartoon band. But what if, like, Kermit the Frog announced, like, I can't do it with Miss Piggy anymore. She bites me.
Do what?
Well, it's, I think it's
He
wrong.
never did. He always rejected her anyway.
I think. Oh, come on. What do you think that she?
Read between the lines.
Come on, Matt. Open
See
your
what was
eyes.
going on?
But you're doing it now. You're exaggerating. That never happened, did
What,
it?
between Kermit and Miss Piggy?
No.
What do you mean,
There was
never
certainly some sort of sexual tension. I'm not
Yes.
making this up.
No, she did. She used to say, Kermy Wormy.
Yeah, Kermit
that.
Wormy. What
It
is
was
the
never
worm?
requited. That was the whole thing. That's why it could run for so many years. They never did anything.
What, like those?
And they were
Nescafe
puppets.
people?
And
Yeah.
they were a pig and a frog.
Oh, that's the least of
That's
their problems.
disgusting.
Exactly.
The very notion. I'll tell you what, right, so yeah, you can join in with that competition if you'd like to, and then we'll get you on the radio, give you some prizes. They're good prizes, aren't they?
Brilliant prizes.
Absolutely. Where else could you get them?
That's the hardest part. Coldplay, you listen to Six Music. Before Coldplay, we had Eddie and the Hot Rods. Do anything you want to do. That was their essential message. You know, this competition we've got, like where we play you some sound effects, you have to guess what the track was. Well, we've had a few more guesses. Dave the Hippie, he's put his old address in here, actually. It says, Dave the Hippie's got his old address. I won't read that out, because otherwise Dave the Hippie will be vulnerable, won't he, to assailants. Well, he reckons that it's raindrops keep falling on my head by, the Manics, he says. And, that's wrong. Then, there's another guess here, Waterfall by the Great Stone Roses. That's Mike in Bushy. That's wrong as well. Good guesses, but they're not right. Let's have a listen to the clue again. So what you hear is so there's definitely the sound of rain, then there's the sound of someone in pain. Now we've got Steve on the line who's going to have a little go. Steve, you all right, mate?
Yes, mate.
So are you feeling confident in your guess, Steve?
I have got that air of confidence about me, which I hope isn't going to be misplaced.
Well, yeah, because I think it's borderline arrogance now, Steve. It's becoming.
I've got a little cocky, I have to say.
Oh my word! Oh,
Sorry, this is a
thank
family
God
show.
for that final syllable. You terrified me for a moment. A little cocky. That's what. All right,
It's
Steve.
Sunday.
Yeah, and this is Jesus Day. For heaven's sake, let's pull ourselves together.
Exactly.
Now, right, we've heard that clue. What do you reckon it is, mate?
I reckon it's Hard Rain by Roxy Music.
You are correct. You're 100% correct. You've won all sorts of prizes. Congratulations,
Hurrah.
Steve. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So,
It came at me like...
how did you ever get it from that clue?
It was like...
Talk us through the process, Steve.
Well, I heard it, and it was like a flasher jumping out at me from in the park.
Okay.
Instead of sort of like an unpleasant view of genitalia,
It
said
was an epiphany.
Hard Rain by Roxy Music.
But why was it by Roxy Music? Why wasn't it by Bob Dylan?
That's a hard rain to go
Because
from.
I didn't know it was by Bob Dylan.
Yeah, so, well, that's the right answer. You've given us the right answer. Now, what are these CDs that he's going to get then, Trev?
Well, he's got 12 inches of 80s dance.
That's going to do him the world of good.
I think that's going to help him.
Yeah.
And this new Day from Embrace.
New Day from Embrace, that's a good
And
album.
Dodgeball.
And Dodgeball, that's that movie. You've got Ben
That's a
Stiller. in it,
DVD.
before.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's all right. These prizes. Oh, can we phrase it? There was talk of a photograph of the back of a lady's legs signed by the lady. I think we can make sure that
We'll
you get
rustle
that.
that up.
That's got to be the best part.
Of course it has. And perhaps we'll think of some other things. Like we'll find some other goodies and stuff. Are you pleased with your prize, mate?
I am. It's all in the winning as opposed to
The taking
like
part.
the remuneration.
Yeah. Right. Really, you're not worried about the remunerary effects. You're just happy to get.
Yeah.
Just to have triumphed, really.
Yeah, it's sort of like the competing thing. It's that sort of chariots of fire spirit, I think.
Steve, you've inspired me. I think the Olympics are going to go all right in 2012. Thanks very much, mate, Steve. We honour you, and here is the track you correctly guessed.
Thanks, mate.
Ta-ta. That was K Vida by Love here on Six Music. Before that, it was Brian Ferry doing A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall. Obviously a cover of Bob Dylan's track that really upset Trevor and Matt. That the cover was what was guessed by Steve. And Trevor says he wants to keep Dodgeball for himself as a result of that. Okay, and we're going to be talking about stories in songs a little bit later. But now, let's see what's going on in the world of cartoons and fictitious figures in the news.
Digital radio.
Belle and Sebastian with The Blues Are Still Blue. Before that, we had The Jam, David Watts. This is Six Music. I'm Russell Brand. You know, we earlier on were saying, what songs tell a good story in them? We were saying that to you because certain songs, they tell a story. Some songs, you could just turn it off. You don't need to know the outcome. And Matt, you got sent a suggestion, didn't you?
Yeah, Mary Clapton has suggested Shooting Star by Bad Company.
Well, what's the story of that?
I know the song, actually. It's a good idea.
What's the story?
Johnny was do you want me to sing
Just
it?
say roughly, what was the story?
There's a schoolboy, hears a Beatles song, he's inspired, he becomes a musician, and it ends with him dying.
Oh dear, it's a tragic story. Trev, you had one as well, didn't you?
Well, this is a classic from Chris Need's Lola.
Chris Needs didn't write Lola, though, did he? Chris
Let me
Needs
make that
just
very
said,
clear. I apologise to the
Ray
Kinks and Ray
Davies.
Davis. Chris Needs had nothing to do with that. He may have inspired it indirectly. We
well, I
can't
don't know.
know.
We don't know what kind of life Chris Needs has been living.
No, he's just a name to us.
I met
really.
Chris Needs recently in
Is
a
he a
club
man
in
or a woman?
Soho. I couldn't tell, Matt. I found it very attractive, and in the end I thought it don't really matter what you
Christine, Christopher.
Chris, yeah, it could be.
That was the ambiguity, yeah. That's beautiful.
I like that song,
Did he
Lola.
have needs?
Oh,
We've all got needs, Trev.
We've all got needs.
We've all got knees.
Listen,
We have as well.
this Lola business, what was going on in there?
Well, it was...
How did it end up?
Well, it's ambiguous again, isn't it? It's never as explicitly divulged in that final verse, but there's a sense that there was some sort of relationship between them.
Between Ray and Lola.
Ray and
All
Lola
for
that he
sure.
met in the old Soho. The
Well,
club.
what's the last thing he says?
I can't remember. I'm going to have to go...
Flipping hell, that was dangerous. I fled out of there, quick smart. I think they had a nice evening.
I'm glad I'm a man, and so is Lola. I think there was love. There was affection between them. There was
I always
respect.
think it's weird that he says dark brown voice.
Well, I think that
that's
just
his-
conjures up a particular image, doesn't
He's a
it?
poet,
yeah.
Matt,
Oh,
that's
sure.
the difference.
Ray, I want you to come to bed with me, love.
Like Bovril.
Or other gravy-based drinks. Yeah, okay, let's listen to Nada Surf, Popular. You listen to Russell Brand on Six Music, that was Nada Surf, Popular. we've got a message here, say hello to Colette. Hello Colette, you alright dear? I hope you're very well. We've got another message, it says, hi, can you ask Matt to confirm whether or not he will make the Easter egg hunt 2006 if we delay the start till 5 PM? Thanks, that's from Matt's mum, Sue Morgan. Matt, will you be there if the start is delayed till 5 PM?
I think I can make that, yeah.
Why are you getting involved in this senseless pursuit of eggs? Just, eggs are easily available.
I have to dress up as an egg and my family hunt me through the Kent countryside.
Really?
It's not what you think.
No, it sounds like a peculiar way to spend an afternoon. So we're talking about songs and stories. We talked about Lola for a little bit, didn't we? That's a nice story. Now, Matt, you've been sent a song that has got a story attached to it. By who sent it in?
Anthony MacDonald sent this in.
What is the story of this song? And see if we can conjure up the atmosphere and guess
set
what the
the
song
scene.
is. Yes.
Really nice hotel in New York.
Sounds awful.
Really nice hotel. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Sounds really nice. Two famous singers. Okay,
Right.
two famous musicians. They're both in a room having a sort of casual encounter.
Well,
Let's
what do
call
you
it
mean?
that.
An encounter of a physical nature?
Yes.
A jamming session, you mean?
No, a bit of How's Your Father?
Oh, I see. Right.
Trevor probably calls How's Your Father a jamming
session.
session.
He does, doesn't he?
Where he carries on his private life. All right, so...
Okay, so they're in there and they're getting it on, but they both...
You've been influenced by Tim Westwood, didn't you? You never would have said getting it on.
Getting it on, I know.
Yeah, getting it on. Man, they were getting it on. It was going to blow up in their face.
It was a big look there in New York in that big hotel room.
It's that kind of thing. It's entered into your grammar, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, but come
Easily
on.
influenced. Okay, so, and they both sort of depressingly know that they're ugly.
Do they?
And they...
How do they know that?
There's mirrors.
Reflective
Trev, in New York.
surfaces.
It's a room full of mirrors, and they put 2 ugly pop stars in it.
Yeah, cruel.
That's cruel, isn't it?
It's like the film
Wicked.
Cube.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Elephant Man a little bit, that bit where he's combing his hair with that vanity set that he's been bought, and then Michael Elphick comes in and shows him his own face in the mirror, and then goes, ah, and claps. You think, Michael, why are you doing that with Elephant Man? He's lovely.
And you
I
always
like-
think about Elephant Man, don't
Think about Elephant Man a couple of times a day, I really like him.
you? Okay, so anyway, there's these two, they're not John Merrick ugly.
Right.
They're just, but they're
But they
bonded.
know it, they know they're
yeah,
ugly.
they say, look, we're not that good looking, and they both agree that they're in a similar predicament.
Right.
And, yeah, so they have this sort of, this encounter, then she leaves, and then do I have to say what happens at the end, or is that the point? I don't say that.
Well, I think that perhaps we should let the music tell the rest of the story, because I'm intrigued. I think I know what it is, because
I've
I
got
was
no
there
idea.
when it was announced.
No.
Trev doesn't know. Let's listen to that song.
Okay.
I remember you.
Oh, Leonard Cohen, Chelsea Hotel. It's made me feel a bit sad.
It is a bit sad, isn't it? Especially seeing this. It's about Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
And,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, you
Cheer
know.
up. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it? It's Easter now.
There's a limousine waiting in the street.
They could have just got in their blooming limousine, enjoyed themselves, lived up a bit, been like Teen Wolf, gone and danced on the roof instead of complaining.
I know.
And also there's that bit in the first verse, at least they were having How's Your Father on the unmade
know.
bed.
Yeah.
It's weird having talked to Tim Westwood. He thinks that he never wants none of that, does he?
What is that all about? He said that a few times.
He doesn't want
make
the How's
sense
the
because-
Father.
He doesn't want
Because
any...
when you're a celebrity, you don't have to worry about...
The preliminaries.
The preliminaries. He likes
He's
going
not
straight to
interested
the
in the main course.
fourth
Yeah.
base.
Yeah, interesting way to
As
carry
if like,
on.
it was a burden that he used to carry, and then he got famous and didn't have to do it anymore.
Yeah. As if it was, as if it was a
But he says that a
pointless
lot,
bit of
doesn't he?
admin. I'm going to talk to him more about that. We'll quiz him. We'll find out what the solution is. Hey, if you know any more songs with stories in them, and you must do, send them to us, because we'll play them and chat about them, and that it'll be a right royal laugh, won't it? Unless it's
Yes.
a morbid song like that.
Like that one.
Yeah.
Cheers, Anthony McDonald, for that.
Yeah, thanks. Good old Anthony McDonald. Let's listen to something a bit more upbeat. Hard to find, better do better. You listen to Six Music with me, Russell Brand, Matt and Trevor in here, and all. We're going to go now. Been good this show, hasn't it? 3 hours, we've had a right laugh.
Yeah, it's flown by.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think Easter has infused us all with a sense of rebirth, hasn't it, and reincarnation.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for.
Is it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's to remind us that new life is coming.
New life is constantly coming, is it, Trev?
Spring is out there, summer will be around the corner.
Oh, so even if something dies, like Janis Joplin, that made us all a bit sad, just think, oh, don't worry, we've got Pink now. Something
Yeah.
like that.
That's it.
And I think Pink might play Janis Joplin in the movie, so that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, she told us that, didn't she?
She did tell us that. She came
When
on
was
the
she born?
television programme.
Pink.
Huh?
Yeah, when was she born?
I don't know. Are you trying to suggest this is reincarnation?
Yes, that's what I'm trying. That's exactly my suggestion.
Blimey, Trevor. You and your Eastern mysticism. Right, okay, so, well, we're off now. Thanks for listening. We're going to be back next week. What's on now? Music Week. That's going to be excellent. Tim Westwood's going to be on that again. Talking. Well, I don't know what he'll talk about. You'll have to wait. It's in the future. We'll see you next week, 10 till 1 on Sunday, when we will be reborn